All right. We have Tales from Flipside Monday night, episode 227. A lot of comic book news, a big old Marvel report. Miss Marvel, we're going to talk about some other things. Let's just jump into it. Let's go. Not bad on the new music, right, Dennis?
Yeah, I liked it.
It's all good. We're out here doing things. But okay, so obviously we got our usual cast plus Mr. Barger down there, the man, the myth, the legend.
So this is episode 227, right?
Yeah.
No
Where's
place
Marla
like
Gibbs?
no place like home.
Oh wow.
No.
Boy.
Who's gonna get that? Who's gonna get that? Right?
Hey, I got you. Got it.
Besides,
you got it. Well, Bear, you got that, didn't you?
Oh boy.
It's my favorite number.
Oh boy.
If I wasn't lacking, I'd get it.
Did you do is that what issue you collect? If you see a 227, you just grab that thing for a buck?
No, it's the name of the NBC show from the 80s.
Oh well, that's okay. I'm young, dude. You know,
IMDb it.
Let you know.
No, wait a minute. You're making a two reference right now. Like,
so here we go. We got let's see, comic book news. The old comic book news. Okay. So I didn't put this in any particular order. We'll talk about Miss Marvel at the end because that'll be kind of our bigger topic. But so they finally announced that CGC is going to do pulp grading. I know some people were picking up pulps. I might have a few laying around. I don't know. Mr. Barger can probably talk about pulps more than anybody.
Yeah, well, I dabble in them, and it's only here's what I have to say about pulps. Pulps is literally just the cover. Everybody I know who collects pulps, it's just for the cover. Yes. And those spines were what you think a giant size X-Men #1 spine is tricky and dangerous. I've never got a pulp with a spine wrap that I ever thought was perfect.
Correct.
So I'm worried, and of course you know me with CGC.
Yeah.
I'm worried that this is another Promise Collection cash grab where they have a giant pulp collection, and they're somehow going to grade on the curve where, something that I wouldn't even call a 7 is going to be the high end because there's no such thing as a 9 in a pulp.
Correct.
So is this going to be a situation where they start grading on a curve, but you never somehow get the benefit of the curve? And, honestly, and I understand CGC could totally do this, but the point of a pulp for me has always been like those weird tail covers. They're gorgeous, but I just want to own that cover. I want to encapsulate it, but I don't necessarily want the grading on it because I think the grading is going to be so brutal that everything out of the gate's going to be a 4.
Yeah.
If it was really seriously graded as a collectible, and then if everything's
it's like Golden Age, right? You get the Golden Age bump. I'm sure you get the pulp bump. You got to. I mean,
yeah, but they got to be honest about that.
Yeah.
Going in.
Yeah. Interesting.
But also another thing, it's like, does CGC really need one more thing to slow down their comic grading?
Well, I guess I heard they've split it up in the last few weeks again. I haven't heard too much about it, but I don't submit books anymore because I'm a loser. So
yeah.
This is interesting. So eBay brought a vault so that you can take. I didn't really read too much in it. They really didn't have enough information. You can bring your collectibles, and they have security, I guess, and then they can put them in there and store them, and then when they sell, they just ship them out for you. It's all good to go, and
it's actually easier than that.
Yeah.
I watched Neo, Northeast Ohio Sports Cards, and he broke this down. And so far, what they've said is, so there's going to be no fees for the first 6 months.
Correct.
To send your stuff there. It all has to be graded. So, if you send in, like I just picked this up, you send this in, the serial number is going to catalog it. They'll give it a new serial number for where it is in the eBay vault. And let's just say Mercenot wanted to buy this from me, this 1970 Al Kaline Kellogg's card, PSA 10. I would put it on eBay. There would be no fees when Mercenot bought it from me. So I would just, it would be basically like him sending me $100, and then he would own this. But then it would stay exactly where it is, or it move somewhere from one side of the vault to the other. But that number, and then Mercenot would just keep it in the vault until he wanted to pay, I think it was like 3 to 5% transfer fee to have it sent to himself. So it's really just like you give this to them, they hold on to it until somebody finally wants to pay the fee to get it back.
So it's kind of like, is it like the, I'm gonna age myself. Is it comic like ComC? Is that what it is? Like, ComC, like you just buy a bunch of shit on ComC and then eventually you just hit the release button and they just ship it to you, kind of?
Yeah, it's like Golden Auctions apparently does.
Oh, okay.
And I think there's a thing called Card Vault that does the same thing.
Yeah, Card Vault. Yeah.
They just want in on that game, but I was talking to you before the show. There's just a certain point where I don't necessarily want a major corporation to have my entire inventory under their control, and I somehow have to get it back. And if I sign up for a zero fee now, 5% later, there's nothing stopping them from raising that 5% to 10%, 15%, and then all of a sudden they're holding my stuff hostage.
Well, and the thing too is with bigger books, like people like get nervous, right? I mean, we talk about this on the channel all the time, right? Big boy books, FF1s, X-Men 1s, rare books there's just not of, it's like maybe for some people this is, ship it to them. I don't have to worry about it. I get paid and my hands it's like eBay International, right? My hands are clean after it's all said and done. So
there's another aspect, and I mean, I'm up there. I don't know how old everybody else is, but I think I'm probably the oldest one here. There's a certain point where if I got a lot of shit sitting in their vault, I better make sure my kids know that, and Lord only knows what happens after I die.
Oh,
at what point do they say, "Hey, we haven't heard from Dennis. We should probably get a hold of his, him and see if he's still alive"? No, I think there's just a point where they're like, "Oh, Dennis hasn't used his account in 2 years. Let's send out this email saying we keep everything if you don't reply."
Yeah, maybe.
And I mean, I don't trust a corporation to do that.
Yeah. Do you put everything on an estate? Like as an estate? I don't know how that all works. Interesting.
I mean, I'm up there. I'm old enough right now where that's a concern for me.
Yeah, I
mean, a very similar thing happens.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Oh, you're lagging.
I was going to say. I was going to say was so having worked in banking for the greater part of my. Can you hear me? My check.
Yep,
yeah.
You're good. Yep,
Perfect.
you're good.
Perfect.
You're good.
No, we can hear you perfectly now. Keep going.
I think he's lagging.
My check. You guys hear me now?
Yep. Perfect.
So what I was saying is that having worked in banking for most of my life.
We're gonna bring him back.
All right.
We're gonna bring him back. So,
because I really want to hear that story, because that's what it is. Is if you have a safe deposit box that's in a bank and you die and nobody knows you have it, there's a certain point where that gets auctioned off, and your family might not ever see that money.
Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever's in there.
Remember, my comic shop kind of did that. So, again, I don't know how they all do it there, but remember, you could just send your books in for consignment and leave them there for 300 years, and if they didn't sell, they were like, screw it. If you don't, again, if you don't pay them a yearly fee or something, I can't remember what the re-up is. They just send it to auction or quarterly auctions, and all those books are see ya. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So hold up. So if you don't pay the fee, they auction it off.
Yep.
And they keep the money.
No, they give you the money.
Okay.
But But say you had
where the market is.
Yeah, say you had an X-Men 150, whatever we're saying, and we'll say it's 50 grand for easy. They auction it off, and somebody gets it for 10 G's. You get the money, but it's like you just lost $40,000.
Right.
Theoretically.
Yeah, if they sell it at the dip instead of you put it in there to hold at the high, and all of a sudden it dipped.
But it's funny.
Yeah, but and they auction it at the dip, you're screwed.
Correct. So it's just another thing I saw. Paul actually sent that to us. So
well, and it's what I've been saying for years. How many fucking middlemen do we need in between every single transaction? eBay is already a middleman. Now they want to be a middleman controlling a middleman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, you can't double dip being two different middlemen.
Well,
and
CEO
I don't know if you
can
know
talk to
this or
eBay.
not, with the cards, now they have a card authentication department where if I sold you like a $5,000 sports card, I have to send it to them for them to say, oh yeah, this is authentic, and then they would send it to you.
I mean, that's not terrible for me. I mean, my cousin's been in the card game since day one. I mean, there are a lot of scammers out there. I mean, I can see that. Moving on to I know Chris kind of left. Atom Smasher. So basically, Black Adam, right? So Justice Society files Atom Smasher #1. So we're actually promoting a new book with a new movie finally. So DC's actually gonna do something about something in a movie. So,
when's that movie coming out? The Black Adam.
Oh, why do you got to ask me the hard questions for?
When's that Black Adam jank coming out?
I think it's October, isn't it?
October 21st, 2022.
Here's the problem. I was just at the movie theater over the weekend, and in the lobby of the movie theater, they literally were running that computer animatic Black Adam where it's like, hey, I'm The Rock, and here's some awesome scenes from my new movie. And it's like, it's drawings of The Rock as Black Adam sitting in a throne. And I'm like, you've been running that exact same animation for 2 years now, man. I've seen better pictures on Instagram than you're showing me in a trailer. And your movie's coming out in October. That's 4 months away. You should have a trailer of the movie.
I mean, they do at this point. They have they released the trailer dropped last week?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, but the movie theaters are still showing that animatic crap.
Well, that's probably more on the movie theaters for not like being on top of getting that stuff out there. Because I mean, it ran in front of Christ. What did I go see that they had the Jurassic Park trailer, or no, they had the Black Adam trailer on. I'm blanking on, but there's something I saw from Warner Brothers recently that had that trailer attached to it. So like they're getting it out there, but at the same time too, I mean, let's keep in mind that Warner Brothers changed hands in the middle of this. And what happened to all those movies when, Fox changed hands over to Marvel? Like, it was not a good look, and things got messy. And this is just this is the corporate America crap where things kind of go like fall in the cracks a little bit when you have that many moving pieces happening. And that might just been one of those ones where somebody didn't relay that, oh, you need to put this attach this trailer to whatever Warner Brothers film is now running in theaters right now.
Man, the theaters can't run the Google machine and get on the YouTube. Come on, man. No, I don't know. But it's funny.
I mean, to be honest, I just think that, the last time I loved DC was, what was it? The Black Triangle saga and the JSA Alex Ross stuff and New 52 before I realized it was the World War III part of New 52 before I realized it just didn't match continuity, and the death of Atom Smasher. To me, they're putting all the right pieces in play for one of the best eras, one of the last best eras of DC Comics, in my opinion. And I would love to see them pull this off. I just don't know that their corporate masters or whoever they've changed hands with again, because you said they changed hands. They actually changed hands twice during this period, once to AT&T and now once to Discovery. And
well, I mean, the AT&T one was like what 2014. Like that was a long. I mean,
but the transition didn't happen until a year and a half ago when they got rid of all like the DO and all that. That was right after the final paperwork was dry, and that's when it started. Was the blood massacre about a year and a half ago? It was because they were still processing when they left Diamond 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
They were still processing the sale 2.5 years ago, right when COVID hit and Diamond shut down. And then they chose the whole lunar thing to kind of appease AT&T before AT&T came in. And then AT&T came in right after that and they fired everybody. So we're looking at within 2 years, they've literally been swapped out twice.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be real about it, though. Unlike the Marvel machine, like the DC publication side of the house has little to no bearing on what they do from a film perspective. Like they were acquired solely for those properties from a film perspective. AT&T could get two shits about printed media. They were trying, like the powers that be over at AT&T were trying to beat Netflix. And that's why everything got, like, that's why during COVID, we got the huge push for HBO Max to get subscribers and why everything was doing a day and day release. It was all about subscribership. They give two shits about the printed media. They weren't trying to, and that's why I brought this up is because at least this is somewhat of an attempt to connect what is like to make some attempt at connecting the comics back to what people are seeing on screen. Because let's be real about it, that Black Adam film is a bunch of people you give two shits about. Nobody really cares about Hawkman or even really know, like that's a convoluted backstory in itself. Atom Smasher, let's be real about it. The average person doesn't know who Atom Smasher is. The average person doesn't know who's that other, like what's she? Tornado or something like that, Typhoon. And most people, Cyclone, and most people don't know who Dr. Fate is or this incarnation of Dr. Fate.
And they could shove Mr. Terrific in there, and nobody's going to give a shit.
Yeah, so I mean, at least this is like an attempt. Like we know, like if you go back and you listen to any of the interviews of the powers that be, the Jason Aarons, the Matt Fractions, like at least when the stuff that was happening in the comics, well, in film was happening, there was at least an initiative pushed internally at Marvel to be like, hey, so Hawkeye matters, or Hawkeye will be in the Avengers. How about you do a series with him? Like there was an attempt. I've never seen in the history of modern day DC films even a vain attempt at having a one shot, a reprint of first appearance, anything like that happen over on the DC side. Like it's just like they just couldn't even think to even make that attempt. And this just seems like a change of pace of only once.
I mean, well, and I'll just tell you this. I am literally looking up first Atom Smasher because I don't know and I've never cared.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this might get somebody to read his book, but at least with Marvel, we saw, and I'm not trying to be the Marvel homer, but like at least with Marvel, you would see like Werewolf by Night 32 getting a reprint as like a new comic. You would get
All-Star Squadron 25.
Yeah, I mean, just
good luck with that.
There was an attempt. At least there was an attempt on the Marvel side. Whether or not it actually caused people to buy comics, different story. But there was an attempt. DC's never even tried. This is the first time I've ever seen them ever reprint something or put out something new to make you think about a character.
Well, and leading on to this, one of the comments, so we can roll through this all. Look at this. So, Joker.
I told you this was going to be a hot topic tonight, Dino.
Number 2. So, yeah. So, me and Dennis were trying to talk. Lady Gaga. Rumors, I guess.
It seems to be been confirmed by the Hollywood Reporter that they are courting her.
Okay. So, Lady Gaga's new Harley Quinn in Joker 2. So,
and it may be a musical.
Oh, look at you.
Oh.
I don't know how to feel about this, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
at a certain point, me beating up on DC and WB just seems like I'm making fun of the Special Olympics. I just, at a certain point, I just got to stop because I get it. They won an Oscar. I get it. She won an Oscar. I get it. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care about Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn. You want to really impress me? Margot Robbie has saved your ass at least twice now as Harley Quinn in your shitty movies. She has more range than anything. Prove that you care and tell her, hey, we want to use you as Harley Quinn as a totally different Harley Quinn over in this Joker movie. We're going to let you drama the fuck out of this thing, and you're going to be our Harley Quinn in 2 different universes. That would impress me.
You didn't give her a real dark third Harley Quinn or Joker 3 maybe?
Harleen, like that Harleen Black series.
Yeah.
I think they
actually drew like Margot Robbie.
Yeah, I think they just don't want to pollute the brand. I mean, they're having success by doing these like isolated worlds within and not having streams cross. I think they're worried about, and honestly, I would be concerned with like people being like, well, wait a minute, like, you know, they have not done a good job of establishing their multiverse. So understanding that Margot Robbie Harley Quinn over here, though she's playing the same character, is not the same incarnation. I don't think that's going to play well with the masses.
Well, here we go. Let me just throw this fresh meat out into the bunch. Right now, they have the entire future of their multiverse resting on a guy who's got his 3rd arrest, is currently being accused of grooming a 12-year-old, and they base the entire future of their Elseworld multiverse on Ezra Miller. And I said this the day that they announced him as the cinematic Flash, the week after Grant Gustave blew the doors off of his TV show. And I'm like, you're already supplanting the kid who just knocked you a home run out of the park? Well, yeah, but Ezra's going to be a much more... You made your bed, lie in it, DC, Warner Brothers.
So one of the things that just came out, like from one of the leakers, is that, so you're partially right. Even if that movie never comes out, apparently the Michael Keaton Batman has scenes in Aquaman 2, and they haven't pulled them yet. Like, they've screened the movie to audiences, and Michael Keaton Batman is in there. So even if that, like, so if they do decide to shelve Flash multiverse film, the Keaton stuff and the multiverse stuff is still going to move forward. They may find a new way to make it happen. Or,
I mean, show of hands, everybody. We all know, we've seen movies with normies, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, honestly, normies have enough questions it is with a very simple Marvel multiverse. And that's one that they spelled out in baby steps, really. And now you're going to take that same idea and start doing all this mixing and mashing over in DC land. I don't think anyone's going to figure it out. I think the normies are going to be completely lost.
I think they can ride on Marvel's coattails. Like, you've already had somebody else do the grunt work of establishing like all of these movies that you've watched over your last, like, you know, or you may have spot watched, because let's be real about it. The normies may have not consistently watched. My girlfriend, who's a very, you know, normal, casually connected to this world person, saw the original Spider-Man movies, the Raimi Spider-Verse, saw none of the Andrew Garfield, and came back in but it was easy enough to explain to her that, oh, all those matter now. So now that's been established, and somebody else did the heavy lifting. All DC has to do is, oh, Michael Keaton, your first or your second Batman, my first Batman, but like your second Batman is in the same universe. And everybody's gonna be like, oh, okay, it's like Spider-Man. That's exactly what's gonna happen. People will be like, oh, it's like Spider-Man. And just keep moving. I honestly do believe that the average person now that legwork's been done, they'll be like, oh, it's like Spider-Man. And then they'll keep it pushing.
Like I said, enjoy your Special Olympics. I can't trash on them anymore.
Oh boy. Marvel Studios skipping San Diego Comic-Con. I wouldn't call this the biggest surprise. I mean, they have Disney Day, all this stuff.
D23 has become a bigger thing for Disney than San Diego ever was.
Yeah. And it's free for them.
Yeah. Yeah. They don't have to pay, they don't have to lug people. Yeah, it's all in house. It's all they can control the narrative, right, or whatever you want to show.
that was what a lot of us were talking about. I went to Star Wars Celebration last week, or 2 weeks ago. I don't even remember. And the announcements were not huge. And I was literally going, guys, they have D23.
Yeah.
Sure, they had Hayden and Ewan here, and they talked about that. And sure, they had Filoni and Favreau here, and they talked about that. But when it came to, let's talk about Rogue Squadron, let's talk about, Patty Jenkins, Rogue Squadron, nothing.
Well, we don't know what's still even happening. So that's why that meant I got mentioned.
Oh, no, it's going to happen. But, okay. So, but as long as Disney has this literally their own Comic-Con, their own celebration, their own whatever you want to call it, as long as they have D23, they do not need to have a giant panel, which I'm sure cost them a ton of money to arrange security and transportation and all of that, to get the entire cast of the Avengers on stage. This was a no-brainer because they did the same thing at Star Wars 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, I think what they've been doing is seemingly alternating years off and on. So they didn't do it. There was no Hall H presentation for Marvel Studios at 2018, and then they did 2019. 2020 didn't happen, so we'll call this one 2020. So they may just be alternating years and using.
Was 2019 the one that Mel called the Disney tsunami or whatever?
Yes. Yep.
That was 2019?
Yeah, because I was in the building for that one. I was in Hall H.
Okay.
So I think they're just alternating years because I was pissed because my first year being able to attend San Diego Comic-Con, there was nothing. They still had a presence on the floor, but they just didn't do a Hall H presentation. They're not going to completely abandon San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, no, I know I can't tell you why I know, but I know for a fact Marvel Comics will be at San Diego in their regular spot on the floor, and they have a lot of things planned for the Marvel booth that would normally be kind of a Hall H event.
Yeah. Yeah, so they will continue to at least have that, but they may not bother with the headache that it takes to get all of those folks. Like, you are right. There's a lot of moving pieces, security, logistics. So again, everybody on the show knows that I volunteer and I volunteer staff at San Diego Comic-Con and WonderCon. There are a lot of moving pieces, and you can double dip because what we do for Netflix, we will share, people for Marvel and for anybody else from a security and a liaison perspective, and having people run around with them. So that's not necessarily the biggest of deals. I think it's just you can do some, like Dino says, you can control the narrative. You can do so much more when it's your show.
Well, and also California is still in a semi-COVID thoughtful process. Now, I was told walking into Celebration in Anaheim that, we have, you look on their website, we have masks, we have vaccine mandate or negative. It was all for literally show. However, on Saturday night, I think it was Saturday night, Favreau and the cast of The Mandalorian showed up to the Mandalorian experience. And apparently something went down that night that angered somebody with a big enough resume that the entire word went out to staff, security, and everything that it is a 100% mask lockdown for that end of the convention center. It was really weird. Like Sunday morning, it was like, you cannot be in the store unless you have a mask. You cannot be in the Mandalorian experience unless you have a mask. And it was like, dude, I was walking around here all Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and there was nothing. Like nobody stopping anybody for mask this, mask that. And then all of a sudden Sunday came and it was a hard lockdown on masks.
I can't speak to Star Wars Celebration because that's not under,
that's
Comic-Con International. Yeah, that's not Comic-Con International. But as far as WonderCon and San Diego Comic-Con are concerned, I'm not sure what the mandate will be for San Diego. But for WonderCon, it was you had to be masked. Like if you came through my section, we're like, yo, you need to put your mask on. You need to pull your mask up. We were still very serious about trying to at least attempt to keep the mask on people.
And I just think that adds one more of those little layers to what you and I were talking about: security, this, that, and then you have to have somebody making sure all the protocols are being followed ahead of time. You know, it adds one more layer that literally Marvel Studios might have said, it's not worth it. Let's stay till D23 and just do it the way we do every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, let's also be like real about it. Like it's Disney. They're not going like they lean liberal. They're going to do a lot of the things that are fall in line with a lot of those like liberal mandates that are, you know, like they're not going to suddenly be like, oh, it's free reign at D23. It's like, nah, you're going to be. You're probably going to be masked up at a D23. They're going to probably, you know.
Oh yeah, but here's the thing: everybody was masked in the shuttle going to, you know, the little go-karts going to the stage. There wasn't a single mask on stage because they still want it to look like, hey, everything's normal, but it was all the protocols backstage.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing with on sets. I mean, I think.
And then I honestly think somebody on Saturday night had a Tom Cruise moment where they went off on everybody at the Mandalorian experience because Favreau was there, Kathleen was there, Filoni was there. I think Pedro wasn't there. But there was a ton of the big shots at that event on Saturday night. And I kind of think one of them might have had a Tom Cruise blow up moment at whoever was in charge going, I was told masks were going to be everywhere. Where the hell are the masks? Get all these people in masks. I don't want to see one person without a mask. I'm speculating completely, guys. So, you know, bear with me because it was literally the fear of God was in everyone the next day. There wasn't a single security guard that didn't have a mask. There wasn't a single ticket taker that didn't have a mask. There wasn't a single usher that didn't have a mask. And everyone was handed a mask when they walked in and told, do not take this off. Except for when you pose for a picture in front of the big sign that says the Mandalorian Experience. Then you're allowed to take the mask off for a picture, and then you got to put your mask back on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's all about the show business.
So we got next is One Punch Man. So obviously mega classic, right? So Justin Lin, Chris, wasn't he fast? Isn't he Fast and Furious, Justin Lin?
Yes, which he just bailed on because he's probably like so he bailed on Fast and Furious 10 like about anywhere from a month to 3 weeks ago. He was like
he's turning his back on family.
he's turned his back on having somebody hover over him and govern like what he should be doing with his film. So
yeah, I get it.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
So
why is The Rock not in Fast and Furious 10 again?
Yeah, because of the same guy.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. We'll see what happens with the book. Obviously, you know, does it go
what
to the
free
moon?
comic book day year is that? 15?
Ooh. I think it was 15 or 14. I thought.
All I know is I have a stack of them. I'm happy.
2016.
16.
May 2016. Yeah. I know it was 2014. So we'll see what happens. Just throwing it out there. Obviously, Thunderbolts, they found a director. So obviously this is going to be a go. I don't think it surprises anybody at least in this group. We've talked about it for what, months, years?
5 years easy.
Yeah. Thunderbolts is going to happen. So nothing too crazy. I'm just going to splurge over a couple of these. Spider-Verse finds its new villain. Anybody going to give me a guess on how to pronounce that? Annecy, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Sure. Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, my question is this is definitely the spot from Spectacular, but is there and maybe somebody else is better at this, is there a Miles version of Spot that everybody's missing out on the speculation for?
Honestly, don't think they brought that character back for Miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of Peter Parker Spectacular Spot moving units today. So good. Look at that.
I'm just curious from I haven't paid attention.
I haven't either. Yeah.
No,
Spot
was part of the new Sinister Six that Miles actually fought. But
is
it's the exact same character though.
Okay, so it's not like a new version of it that we don't know who he is, or okay.
Yeah, because it's after they brought Miles over to main continuity.
Dude, I love those covers on Spectacular Spider-Man from that era. You know, the spot covers, the Kingpin stuff. All of those covers are fire, and they've been in dollar boxes for 30 fucking years.
Yeah.
I'm sure people ran out. Yeah, I'm sure people ran out and snagged them all up because they're going for like 50. So
no, Carter's still sitting right there.
I know.
He probably knows where 20 are sitting right now.
I bought what I could.
He says.
I'm done.
You know, it'll come back around. Okay, so the biggest main topic is, so I know I watched Miss Marvel. I know a couple people have. It debuted two episodes, right, guys? Or one? No, one episode.
One episode.
So one episode. I thought it was really good. Again, I've heard, and the only complaint I had, I mean, it's a little slow, but I understand because you got to build that character up. You know, a lot of, like, let's talk about normies don't know Miss Marvel, all this stuff. So you gotta kind of give it a base, and then. But I'm looking forward to episode 2. Obviously, thoughts, concerns, comments, anything?
What's your review?
You mean for me? Like,
I haven't watched.
Oh, no, I mean,
it's, you know, you are the ethnic demographic that this is shooting for.
Oh boy. So no, I think it's, you know, it's a heroine girl who's trying to find her space in life. I mean, it's undeniable. You know, you know, me and Chris were kind of talking about, as I mean, you know, the minorities, you know, aspect of it. It's you know, it's somebody trying to find their place and like fit in society. It's like, you know, and hopefully, you know, they bring a bigger spotlight as they coming to age. I think it's I thought it was good. I liked every minute of it. I'll
tell you what I thought.
Okay.
I thought this was the most original thing that Disney Plus has done since WandaVision. It had kind of a Scott Pilgrim feel to the format of it.
Yep.
When she's doing the whole explanation of what she's going to do versus what actually happens shortly thereafter, I thought was fucking brilliant. And if you're trying to make, if you're trying to make that a thing with my kid's age, you can't do it like Falcon and Winter Soldier. You can't do it like anything else you've done. And it took a giant size set of balls to approve doing it the way they did it. And I think it's going to pay off for them. I mean, dude, here's the thing. You're talking to the guy who bought 200 copies of Miss Marvel #1. Okay. I was literally 10 minutes from Dearborn. The comic book store in Dearborn, who thinks politically way different than me, ran out on the first day, and I'm not kidding you, I had 40 or 50 Muslim comic book fans calling me up. Do you have Miss Marvel? Yeah, come on over. You know, and I was selling that book to everybody for months. Everybody was like, holy shit, how do you still have these? I believed in the character. I believed in what the character could do. You know, and it's like, hey, dude, I'm the last person that this was aimed at, and I was the hardest buy-in of anything. I don't think I bought 200 of a lot of books that came out those couple years, but I bought 200 of that one. Good. I got the 1 in 100 Art Adams to prove it.
Chris, what do you think?
So, I mean, as far as the show is concerned, I honestly loved it. And the funny thing is, like, it definitely tugged at the heartstrings. Like, anyone who grew up with like overprotective parents, like I was the baby boy in my family, of a single mom, and like I don't care what your friends are doing, you're not gonna go do that type of like approach to things, like really hit home. And anybody who has grown up, you know, a little black or brown kid and like had to deal with like, well, my other friends can do this, but you can't do that type of stuff. And why can't I go? Why can't I, you know? And ultimately, once you grow up, you realize that they're doing it for your best interest. But you can, like, it hit hard. Like I was sitting there and I was like, man, this really is going to catch me in the feels a lot more than I thought it was going to.
Yeah,
because,
let's be honest. I don't think stopping your 14, is she 14 in the show?
I think she's 14.
16 because she goes for a license.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
So stopping your 16-year-old girl from going into New York City for an evening convention, that's universal, man. I think it's not just a Muslim thing. It's not just a person of color thing. I would never let my kids go to Detroit at 7 o'clock at night by themselves to go to any convention.
Well, true.
You know.
But it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it may not have been something that serious. Like, I was definitely, again, like having had that experience growing up where it's like your friends are actively doing it. They're going to the parties. Well, I got to meet their parents. Who else is going to be there? Like everything that she is struggling with. Like I got it less as being a guy. My female, you know, cousins, my female friends and stuff in their households and stuff. Like, it was like, no, you're not going to do that.
Chris, you remember back in the day, dude? Like, it was like, at least in my neighborhood, it was like when the lights come on, your ass is in the house, man. Like, or at least around the house to see, you know, like I can see your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like, I mean, there were certain people's houses, even in the neighborhood. Like, there was friends that you wanted to go hang out with. That was like the hang spot after school. But my ass wasn't allowed to go. I had to sneak. Yeah. I had to sneak and go hang out over there. Like, I mean, so it absolutely resonates with me, and I think it resonates with a lot of other younger people, much younger than me. And, you know, the demographic they're going for, I think it is like, this has the opportunity to be a real hit, like across the board. I mean, the character's charismatic. Yeah, I felt a certain type of way about the changes they made to her power set, but I understand why they did it because, you know, stretchy is really hard to pull off and expensive.
And it's going to be here in about 2 years with Mr. Fantastic anyway. Exactly.
You don't want to double dip on the power set. They never want to do that, but I'm looking forward to Wednesday night's episode. I see this, you know, really being one of the, you know, this could be the other breakout around like how people responded to the new Black Widow and has responded to Kate Bishop. I definitely could see Ms. Marvel being one of the new breakouts.
You know, you were asking me if I watched it earlier.
Yeah.
I misread what you said. I'm actually very excited to watch it.
Oh, good. Good,
yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, you know, of course, after 3 of us mansplain it to you, Comic Girl, what do you think?
Well, I could probably relate to. I'm the youngest girl of 2 brothers, so I was definitely not allowed to do a lot of things growing up. Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. Like you said, it'll like, this is one of those ones I think I think we don't kind of know full circle what's gonna happen, right? Like WandaVision, we kind of knew it was set up for, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is one of those ones. I don't know. I mean, I didn't really study too much of Ms. Marvel. I didn't read any, like, all the books and stuff, so I really don't know what's going to happen full circle. But it's like you said, hopefully just the ride continues and we can roll with it. So
yeah, I mean, we're going to see her in the Marvels. Like, she didn't deny that at all when she was on Jimmy Fallon, the actress. And then it was reference of like, oh, have you had a chance to meet Brie Larson? What was that like? And things like that. So maybe that was a slip up on her part, but she didn't deny it.
Do you know where she lives? She lives in Toronto, Comic Girl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she goes to one of the comic shops up there.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, she's like a huge hardcore comic person,
Yeah,
and
she
then
is in real life.
So down is what you're saying.
Yeah, and then she's in like all the like crazy subreddits of Reddit. She's like all in the like Marvel Studio spoilers. She's all in that shit too. So it's interesting. So yeah.
You know, the only thing that my daughter and I had a conversation about that we were kind of disappointed with was I really wanted to see her in this season with the homemade dress from the comic books and not the pimped out Marvel Studios, you know, whatever they call that material. Instantly, you know, your Marvel costume has arrived. I kind of thought this is the one that we can get away with a handmade costume like Peter Parker
or Daredevil. Like
or Daredevil, yeah.
I
kind of, that was the only thing that she was disappointed in because she's a seamstress. And I had to agree with her. I was like, yeah, you know what? I really think this is the one you could have went cheap on purpose.
Especially if she's going to a convention, right? You're cosplaying as something, right?
Yeah. But I mean, literally, even her Captain Marvel costume looked more like a Marvel costume than what we know her homemade costume looked like.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I just thought, I'm sure thematically, whatever, but I kind of thought if they were going to give her this decked out costume, I would have liked to have seen that kind of as the final episode where somebody hands it to her, and she just has that. There's just something powerful about her cutting that costume up and sewing it herself that I really enjoyed in the comic books.
And shout out to Long Short, aka the bubblegum guy, because that's my boy. So that's what we kind of got for the old marker report, or we're going into marker report. That was for news. So again, marker report, Z did this. Z's not here, but it's okay. I just did it in alphabetical order, just general comments of things I see or re-see. So Elf 96, little Elf 48, $425. I mean, these were books that were, long forgotten, but just things we see on a daily basis. So this is interesting. Ace Comics 11. I got a front and a back pick. I don't know why. Oh, because there's tape on it, I'm guessing. It's obviously not in the greatest condition. I don't even know if the staple. It seems like it's probably detached, I would say, because it's tape on it. But 1480, man. Wow. That is a crazy number. Carter, you buying that book if you see it?
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's like I'd blow past it, right?
What's worse is that tape is just horrible.
Yeah.
And when the hell do you see pre or rather platinum age comics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the guy at the booth who has every golden age comic and then platinum, and like they've been sitting there for 20 years.
Oh yeah, like the guy at the show.
Yeah, and he looks it up at Overstreet for you at 12 times the value. This is interesting. So I saw this and I'm like, $824 for Alpha Flight #1, but it's a Canadian newsstand variant.
Oh.
So I don't see that much. The girl up in Toronto, there's your book for you if you go looking. So if you find Alpha Flight 1 that got the old $1.25 on top instead of $1, there's your Canadian price variant. So
I kind of have to say, if I was, you don't know how many Alpha Flight #1s I've dumped in dollar boxes.
Oh, I know.
But if I was gonna buy an Alpha Flight #1, I kind of want a Canadian newsstand. It's kind of just more on the nose.
Yeah. Anything else would be swill.
Yeah.
We talked about kind of custom bound books last week or 2 weeks. ASM 129 custom bound with 26 other comics. US/Philippines. Philippines is tough. Marvel value stamp $535. So it's something. Again,
What's the front look like?
I didn't see a picture. I didn't get the picture of the front. You want me to look it up? I can do it.
No. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if it had something cool on the front, like custom work or something. But
yeah,
those books are they're literally sewn into a binding, and it.
Yep. I brought this ASM 300 $5,000. I did have a couple other ones that Z sent me. So it was like 5,000, 4,000, and what was it, Chris? Maybe like 4,200 or something. So
yeah. The two CBCSs were almost $1,000, like we're $1,000 to $800 cheaper.
Yeah. So I mean, I just not a CGC CBCS thing. I just seen that people were just banging them off for like around $4,000 plus. So
there's an idiot waiting in line at Starbucks to pay $7 for a coffee as we speak. You never can tell.
Yeah. This kind of surprised me. Back to the Future #1, 98 newsstand, $535.
You know what? I never see. That's something I never notice.
Okay.
And like even digging through dollar boxes, that's something I never see. And for it to be a newsstand and
98
just something like that,
Here's the thing. Oh,
no, you good.
No. It's just. The key comic seller, I've seen him pop up on a lot of these lately. Mm-hmm. This guy's ahead of the curve. And remember what we were talking, Dino, beforehand? You want to see everybody's like, oh, the market's dipping. Oh, we got to sell off our Ultimate Fallout 4s because they're dropping in price. And I'm like, you're idiots. You need to figure out. I'm pointing at the. Damn it! I'm pointing at the wrong. You need to figure out what this guy's figuring out because he put this up for auction a week ago. Got 6 bidders to get that to $535.
Those 6 guys who bid it are probably the smartest guys on the room. Probably
That's such an iconic cover.
Yeah.
At 9.8 newsstand. I mean, just start putting all that stuff on top of each other. That's probably $1,000 book in like the next 6 months, guys.
You know what? I didn't even know this book even existed. Like a Harvey Back to the Future, didn't even know it existed. Honestly.
I mean, imagine what the print run is, and then imagine what the newsstand print run is.
Yeah. So, I don't know what this next one. Oh, ASM. There's an ASM 361. So 198, $400, 198, $560. So I mean, you know.
Okay, but here's where I call bullshit.
Okay.
Who has their start bid at $377.59 because he only got 1 bid?
It was a buy it now, probably.
No, it wasn't. It says 1 bid.
Well, if you buy it, don't you, Chris? If you buy it now, isn't it a bid theoretically?
I think that is how it tags it. Like it's weird on auctions
Yeah.
if
you have an auction and a buy it now, I think.
Oh, is that Maximum J?
I don't know.
Sold the CGC?
Maybe. Yeah. I can't tell. It's hard to see. The old Bat 655.
Damn.
that's way down.
Damn.
What are the other books? I hate this book with a passion because this is the book I lost from Leg during Christmas time like 4 years ago, and I felt so bad about it.
I've got 298 sitting.
I've got a 9.6, and I wouldn't sell it for that.
Yeah, I paid more for the 9.6 I had back when this book was super hot, and then turned around and sold it for like 400 and like 450, something like that.
Like I told you, there are idiots out there that are panicking and they're panic selling. And this is just one of those books. I don't care if you're in this game and you need $304 that badly.
Better sell some ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and let's be real about it, like the auction houses ain't helping matters. Like I watch like vehemently. I watch the auctions coming out of Heritage. Like I have at least 20 books I'm just like watching like to see where they end up. And they are ruining the game right now. Like they are single-handedly getting like $2 to $3 grand less on like big books right now. And it's just like, yeah, like people just want to point to that and being like, well, the average for a Hulk 181 9.4 is only, like 16,500 right now. It's like, yeah, but look, like 9 of those were because of Heritage just rapid firing them off like a week, every single week on auctions. Yep. So like they're not helping matters any that they're just pushing out stuff. They are, I mean, their name is kind of a little hurt right now because of all that little like, what was that? The graded games or whatever, or card stuff that they got caught up in a couple months back. So they're not helping matters any. And so people are like seeing these numbers. It's like the folks who watch their 401ks on a daily basis. Like you don't do that. Because
why do you make fun of me, man? I told you that in confidence.
No, it's like, hey, I just looked at my Bitcoins. I haven't looked at it in like 2 months, but it finally dipped a little bit and it dipped a lot. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'm not planning on selling it, so it doesn't matter. If it all disappears, it disappears.
Yeah. Book you really don't see too much.
I love this book is hella undervalued.
Yeah, Cap 83. It is hard to get I've owned a few of these Cap 83s, and I'm sure our protege Mr. Z's on a ton of them too. It's hard to get high grades, man. They've just been battered, especially the old
so much white on this cover too.
Yeah.
And that paper stain so easy.
And usually it's that green circle. It's like that's like the death, that and the little orange at the bottom are the deaths for spines. It's like just get smashed and there's nothing you can do. Like it's not pressing out. So
well, and everybody starts chasing. I mean, what is a 9.8 Final Crisis first Blue Beetle? The new kid.
400. I think they're hovering around 400 right now. Like 3.
I mean, seriously, all of us, deal or no deal. would you rather pay $600 for a 9.0 of this or 400 for a 9.8 of that?
I wouldn't pay anything for a 9.8 of that Final Crisis.
Yeah.
The one I have, I paid like $5 for it and graded out, and I'm just waiting until we get more announcements.
Yeah, I'm just saying, and that's Dave and Adam's Card World too, so you know they didn't pay shit for that book.
Yeah, exactly. They probably bought a whole collection. It was in there. I noticed this. There was a couple more he posted, but it just blips were selling the whole weekend for some reason, and this guy had a bunch of them. I don't know if it was this guy or other people, but he had 9896. There was a couple 94s. So it was like 2300, 650.
You know, 400. I thought of this book when I was watching Stranger Things.
Yeah,
and they did a whole thing about Blip. I can't remember what it was, but one of the characters just kept saying Blip.
Yeah, so maybe that's why.
I bet you that's what it put it in my brain. I bet you it put it in a bunch of other people's brains.
Yeah, I haven't seen Stranger Things yet. Speaking of video games, this sold a little Carnage QVC Collector's Edition, sealed, rare, no fire emojis, but $1,000. So this is a buy it now, probably.
Damn, that's taking me back.
Yeah.
You know, here's something, and this one you might want to look up. Those little pins that are on that book. People don't know this, and I don't usually give away this cornbread. Those little pins were only made in the 90s by a company called, I think it was called Hero Factory. And those little Koisel pins, I guess I've never known how to pronounce those.
Mm-hmm.
I get like $80 to $100 up to $200 for some of those when I find a collection of those, because I do a lot of pins and buttons, and I focus on buying collections with those. Those little pins alone, if those are made from that Hero, I think it's Hero Factory or Hero Company. If those are 90s Hero Company pins, those pins are probably worth $100 to $200 a piece.
I got you. Look at this. Bam. Yeah, these little 3 pins.
Yeah, you go look up. I don't want to get this deep down the rabbit hole, but I think it's called Hero Factory Marvel Pin. And then just do a reverse search by the highest to the lowest. And I literally, I have sold $200 freaking pins from this era.
Hold on, I'm getting there. Sold listings.
Was that the right name?
Yeah, Hero Factory.
Yeah.
I think it's what it is. I'm trying to do some type of.
I mean, this is a good little market report for everybody out there. Just when you see like a pin collection at your local comic shop, look through them. Yeah, look at some of these.
Yeah, I mean, this is 51 bucks.
Those are the Scotty Young stuff.
Yeah, it didn't let me sort through highest to lowest or whatever, but whatever. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, so like some stuff went for 51. I mean, this is like the D23 stuff. I'm sure, like you said, the most of it. There's not all of it here, but yeah. So Marvel pins. That's always something. We talked about, sealed
I mean,
stuff.
Yeah, you look at just break that down for $1,000.
Yeah. And there you
got
go.
3 pins that you could only probably get from that collection. You got a sealed video game, which we all know is batshit crazy, and you got that hardcover book in that. Plus dude, $1,000's probably dirt cheap on that thing.
Yeah, there's one listed right now for like 2 G's. So
yeah, and it's just going to keep going up. And I've never seen one all put together. I've seen pieces of it before, but
I looked. I don't know why this is so. What was it? Let me reset. So here we go. So I'll give you some more free cornbread because that's what I do around here. So 2 G's. This guy's selling it for 2 G's out in Lexington, but it's got pens, it's got the game, it's got the carver. So this was 5,000, I guess, obviously. So
yeah,
but yeah, so interesting.
Well, and think about that New York Comic Con Anti-Venom hardcover, with the art from the second print as the main cover. That book is like a $500 book, and that's modern. This is 90s. Yeah. How many of these even still exist?
Yeah. I love Horrific. We already talked about our Horrific 1's obviously a key book. Horrific 11, 40 to 45, 650. It looks great. I mean, it looks like a solid mid-grade book. I mean, I didn't get their additional picks, but to me, it looks pretty good. NYX3, 1,800. Just, we haven't heard really too much from X23 lately, but value's still there, right? I mean, it might have dipped a little bit, obviously. Wasn't it 2Gs maybe back in the day? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
The Delato #1 goes for more.
Ah, okay.
I think it goes for like damn near double.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, well, that Delato is a 1 in 25 that nobody bought in on.
Yeah, makes sense.
I had 4 of them when I found out it was worth money.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, so I was gonna say about the X-Men and X-Men adjacent books. People are X-Men 1, people are coming to their senses on, and they're letting that book kind of like bounce out a little bit. But where people are starting to realize is like, go scoop up all these tertiary characters, first Bishop, first Psylocke, first like all of those like 80s and 90s run X-Men character first appearances from either Uncanny or X-Men Jim Lee series. Those are going for good money in like relatively like high, like mid to higher grades. I mean, like people are even getting good money for like 9.2s, 9.4s on those books.
Yeah.
And I think, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, speaking of 9.2s, 9.4s, I think people need to realize too, it's like you still can make money if your book's not a 9.8, right? I mean, let's all talk about it. Everybody's like 9.8 or bust, right? 9.8 or bust, 9.8 or you can still make money. It's just your buy-in has to be at a semi-decent value and you have a little bit less margin for,
2 years ago, I went on a tear and I bought 5 copies of 9.6 of this book from 300 to 500.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm just sitting back. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to sell it till we get a Wolverine, let alone.
I bought one of these for like $100 back in the day in a set. Somebody didn't know what he kind of had. And then I sold her for like 400 and I didn't grade it. I was like, it could be a toss up. And he got a 9.8 out of it. He probably doesn't have the book anymore, but I mean, if I would have subbed it, it probably would have came back 9.6, 9.4 or something like that. But whatever. Uncle Dino had to leave.
By the way, real quick, just for the chat, it's Planet Studios Marvel Pins. Is the company that made the pins in the 90s.
Okay.
So Planet Studios. You don't have to go, but like the literally the Omega Red pin went for 175. Yeah. It's insane.
I got you can tell this is a Z report. So Hulk 181 Spanish edition.
You hear Dino.
Oh, are you good? Testing 1 2.
Yeah, no, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. So Hulk Spanish, $700, right? A coverless 181 that has a Marvel value stamp, and I'm sorry, BC's back cover, $11.80. Dealer Flipside, what do you buy? How about this?
If I was Frankenstein in books, I'd buy the coverless.
Yeah. I mean, look, man, come on, man. Wolverine's in his white getup, man.
I got one little caveat to that.
Yeah.
And bear with me on this. I'm not just trolling. If they cast an actor of Spanish origin as Wolverine, tell me that other book doesn't surpass 181 in low grade 181 in some regards. I'm just throwing it out there like Pedro Pascal. He is bigger in his home country than he'll ever be here because it's just that identity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I mean, with me, it's like, again, I wish Z was here because I don't know how many of these are out there. Is it like a very common like printing of a Spanish 181? That's Z's kind of forte.
Yeah. Who the hell is that other person? Because that's supposed to be Wendigo, not some crazy golden 8 boy.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I have no idea. So and then who knows? Maybe who did the art? I don't know. Why are you asking these questions, Mike? I don't know. Z will be back next week. We'll blame him for that. Nintendo Power 1 6.0 with the posters 460. Wow. I don't know. I don't have too much to say. I mean,
wasn't that one that you had to be like in the building at like some like
video game? I thought this was
subscription one.
Yeah, I thought this wasn't the free sample copy. I think it has in a star. I think it says free sample copy, and that's the one you had to be in the building theoretically.
I have literally gotten 4 or 5 of these in Nintendo collector collections.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a lot more common than most comic book people understand.
What's the average condition that you find?
Beat the fuck. Every one of them.
Okay, so here's the other thing. I bet you a lot of those Nintendo people don't grade comics, right? So when a graded comic shows up, it theoretically is more rare than the
Nintendo people aren't going to buy a graded copy of this.
Yeah. Because they want to flip through it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But also, and I had this conversation a while back with somebody, this is a rubber glue bound magazine.
Correct.
You can buy a beat up copy of this, heat the hell out of that spine, and pull that map insert out, and then buy yourself a high grade one.
Ooh.
And marry that back into where that other poster. So I think there's going to be a 181 value stamp level.
Yeah.
You know, swapperoo going to go on with a lot of these as well.
Okay. Interesting. Look at my man AOA helping us out on the channel. My man. A little primer 2. 9/4, 1800, we'll call it.
That's an easy grade to get on that book too.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I mean, let's be real about it. This is all being motivated by what was that? The primer, was it Netflix series announcement or was that Amazon? It got optioned by somebody like almost like.
Well, I mean, honestly, Amazon should buy the word primer just to have it.
It was.
They already have Amazon Prime, add primer.
Yeah, right. That's funny. I think maybe it was Netflix. I don't know. I can't find it.
Yeah, but that Grindel announcement and even casting as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, this is being motivated by Grindel live action. Netflix. Yeah, so Netflix got it.
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah. 8-episode series. I mean, I know Grindel has its fans, and a lot of that like 90s stuff that came out in the same vein, like the more graphic indie type stuff. It's kind of the audience that what's face is playing into with Red Room and things like that. I worry about the longevity. Like people none of these Netflix, Amazon-y series people have cared about past their initial like
Umbrella release. Academy. Let's bring it out there.
Lock and Key, The Boys, like that did well. Like people went out there and were chasing down copies, but like season 3 now.
What's a 9/4 of Walking Dead #1 go for right now?
Give me a second.
Because I mean, let's face it. Honestly, is this going to beat Walking Dead? People are going to be watching The Walking Dead in 20 and 40 years like they watched Breaking Bad now. Without a Better Call Saul, that people are still watching Breaking Bad. So
about 2. Oh, that's signed. I'm sorry. Signed. A lot of signed copies. $1,800. So about the same price.
Yeah. So what are you going to buy? There, deal or no deal on that. Do you want a 9/4 first Grindel, or do you want a 9/4 first Rick and the entire cast?
Do I got to buy it now?
No. If you had to buy one of them right now, which would you buy?
Primer, because I can't give away Walking Dead probably.
Well, wait. Whoa, what price did you say on The Walking Dead?
I just saw somebody sold one for $1,840 something way back in. Okay,
somebody took a loss because I'm looking at GPA right now. #1, 9.8, Blue Label, 90-day average, $3,000. The last sale.
A 9.4,
Oh,
not a 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
9.4. Yeah, 90
18.
averages. So 90 days, 1586 on that book.
Yeah, so this was high.
The point is 20 million people watch that show live every Sunday for 3 or 4 seasons.
Yeah.
You know, there are 20 million people who at least one time resonated as a Walking Dead fan.
Yeah.
I got a book, and there's only 10,000 of that book.
Yeah, there's 2,500 copies of Primer, I mean, yeah, just, you know, and interesting, just, you know.
Yeah. I just think no matter if you name me, if Primer turned into John Wick, sure. Yeah. But roll those dice that they could put together a John Wick level show based on Grendel.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, if you're okay with, I think ultimately, like, it's the logic of, are you looking to turn a profit buying at this price, or are you looking to just be like, I'm a Grendel fan, I am a Crow fan, I want this book.
Hey man, I need some new shoes, man, so I need to turn a profit.
Yeah.
I need to go to the Mel V, get a fresh haircut. I need some haircut money. This is interesting for us SpongeBob fans.
Bryce Krug called it a long time ago.
He did, and you know what he also talked to me about was those rare variants in the later series that are pretty hard to find. So basically, yeah, $500. I mean, I think this was what, 300 a couple marker reports ago. So steadily climbing up the old ladder.
Well, and it was back in the old days when you had to have to put it on, what was that show called where you the cover, whatever. It had to be under like $10 or $20, and you thought it was going to be higher. He told everybody about this book.
Modern Playbook. Yeah.
He told everybody about this book when you could get one for $20.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bryce Krug.
That's my man. A little Golden Age Tech 8. So it's a very good 3.0. I mean, I don't know. I didn't look at it 5,400. So again, you know, David Adams. I mean, but still, it's 5,400.
That's holding on for dear life.
Yeah, I mean, it's encapsulated. I don't worry about that anymore. But yeah, 5,400. We always got to throw a Thor book out there. So number 2 variant. Come on, Carter. You got like 40 of these, don't you?
No. The only thing I got is I sold the newsstand, and I still have the second print, and that's about it. And I have like a few of the first print, but that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
I
never this is a book I've never seen in person.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, you did. It was in my vault. Both of you saw it.
Boy.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Sitting right there, second spot on my vault wall.
You know what's funny? I remember it, and I think I asked you, and you told me it was $25,000, and I said no, I'm good.
I ain't selling it until it hits $5,000.
Yeah.
Before you click off of this, so a couple weeks back, I mentioned that trade I did where traded a bunch of books that were on my eBay for cash, and those books in cash to get that 9.2 White Pages Avengers 8.
Yeah.
And the guy gave me my very insertly inflated, waiting for announcement prices on a lot of those books. One of those was the regular cover of the first Gore God Butcher. I had it out there for like $750 or best offer, or I think $700 best offer. And honestly, I was like, man, the fact this dude's willing to give me this value, I was like, hey, awesome. But now I'm starting to think, I was like, damn, we may see $700 for that regular cover by the time we get to the movie release. So, I mean, maybe that was smart. If he's already turned and burned it.
Here's the problem. You're fighting all the assholes screaming about Christian Bale not looking like their cover. It's Christian fucking Bale. Okay, yep. That man could act a ring around everybody when he was 10. Okay, he would not read that script and take that character unless he knew he could do some serious fucking shit with that. I think everyone's going to be blown away, and this book is going to go supernova when they see Christian Bale do this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, comic book fans are going to be comic book fans. And, even before my time when I was, it wasn't in a hobby, Batman 89 came out. People complained about What's-the-Face being too old and not being in the right shape. Yeah, this is just what comic book fans do. They're never happy, and they bitch and moan about something not being comic book accurate. So even though everything else in that trailer was comic book accurate. Well, Gore's not. It's like, all right, dude. It's like, come on now. Like the character's been around for fucking like 10 years. Like, let it go. Like you are not the biggest Gore to God Butcher fan.
You know, and here's what a lot of people don't know about this series too. Nobody knew who Jason Aaron was when this book came out, when this whole run, God of Thunder run came out. This is issue 2, and this is at the point in time where I had already developed the strategy of increase my buying on issue 2 because every retailer was cutting and running after issue 1. But the reason they had to chop off Thor's dick and give us a vagina Thor in the first place was no one was buying this book, this whole run. By issue 23, 24, the sales were so down. Marvel had no other choice but to dump penis Thor and give us vagina Thor. And guess what? It sold 4 times more copies with Jane Foster as Thor before anybody knew it was Jane Foster than God of Thunder 23, 24. I forget what the numbers were. I had a whole thing about this. And guess what? It sold for like a good year better than this entire series ran for 2 years.
Wow. Last but not least, Usagi Jumbo, number 1, 9.8, under 1,000. I don't know.
Get it while you can.
Yeah, right. They're coming out with a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, actually. Shredder's Revenge or something. So it's interesting to say the least. That's all I got in the old market report. That's all we got. So how about we do a little pickups action? Anybody want to go first?
Sure, I'll pop it off.
Look at you. Look at you.
Some lights on. So again, I tell people that I am buying up, and I still think I got one more coming. So I'm all about the Justin Hammer spec because I seriously do believe that either in Armor Wars or Ironheart, Justin Hammer will be making his MCU return. So I don't remember which of these I've already thrown up on the screen before. Star Wars Celebration and everything that they did, the big graffiti mural that they had of, the cast of Rebels and, the hunt for Ezra and, Thrawn. Had to grab another one of these in newsstand 9.6 because I'm not paying 9.8 prices.
Wow. What did
I still got.
I think I was able to get this out for like in the 8s, maybe.
Wow. I think that's good. That's a steal, dude.
Yeah. Because everybody else wanted like 11 for theirs.
Yeah.
I got my 9.0 newsstand still chilling.
So, and this is the big boy that's been like bouncing around. Got, so a big fuck you to FedEx for leaving it at somebody else's house.
Oh boy!
Not signed for.
No.
Wow.
Luckily, it was recovered, but yeah, they left that unsigned for. So I was about to be a Heritage. I'm gonna need my money back. Luckily we found it, but yeah, like I was flipping the fuck out because they left this at the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Well, I just sold my 9.0 for 9,000 last month.
Nice.
What?
I'm looking to unload my 9.4 because now I have 2 9.6s and a 9.4, so I don't need 3.
What did that one cost at Heritage?
So at Heritage, after all said and done, I think it was $15,600 and then shipping costs.
Wow.
Is what the final. Yeah, they hit me for. I think Final Hammer was 13 on it, and then they got 2,600 in Fire Premium. But still, I was okay with that because, I mean, I traded away in value $14,000 at one point to get to 9.4. So I'm more than happy with picking up a sub 16 9.6.
Yeah, for $2,000 more. That's what
I mean, they're slipping a little bit right now, but like the second week, this is going to be the cast of the X-Men. They wouldn't be bringing back X-Men 97 if they were going to go with 100% classic team. So
I mean 92.
Yeah, sorry, X-Men 92. Yeah, they wouldn't be doing X-Men 92 if they were going to go with the classic, yellow and gold team. Or yellow and blue team. So
what is the solid spec on X-Men as far as cast and teams and all that kind of stuff?
I mean, I think they're going to lean in on, Jim Lee era team. that's the one that's going to resonate with the most people. It's the reason why they can daisy chain and go into X-Men 92, the series, very easily to get that back into people's memory and zeitgeist. There's a reason why they didn't do Fox X-Men theme for Xavier. They did X-Men, the animated series theme for Xavier when he rolled out. He was in the hover chair, for Christ's sakes. Like, it's going to be X-Men.
And back to giant-sized balls to do Miss Marvel the way they did her. Feige is the guy who says, I don't want to explain Uncle Ben. Drop us a Peter Parker already in year one.
Yeah.
I don't want to explain Hawkeye from Tales of Suspense. I don't want to explain Black Widow from Tales of Suspense. Drop them in as Avenger or as Shield members, and we'll explain the backstory some other time. If there's anybody with the cojones to do, just drop in. Here's X-Men. I don't know how we're going to get him. It might be Kang. It might be, whatever he's got planned. He's going to drop them in at some point, and then let them explain that there was originally 5 of them some other time.
Yeah.
So I think, honestly, obviously X-Men 1 is going to be great anyway, but everybody's specking on that we're going to get a young Bobby and a young, you're out of your mind. We're going to get an adult actor. We're going to have a Wolverine the first time they show up. We're going to have, that's just my opinion.
Who's next on your list? Anybody want to go next? Have we got anything?
I'll go. Because we're all sitting here waiting for Carter anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't have any comics here because all my comics I bought at Celebration or in my warehouse. But I did go to an auction for sports cards, and I'll just show you what I picked up. There's second year Franco Harris. I pick up any Walter Paytons I find. Mean Joe Green, of course, Barry Sanders. That's our guy around here. Barry, I'll buy every Barry rookie I find. Right there, boys. LT. Phil Simms. He's
Clemens.
Yeah, I know, but I still buy them if they're cheap. There we go. Emmett Smith, Kirby Puckett. This is actually a hard to get Kirby as well. Right there, Marcus Allen. Always pick that up.
What's that going for? That Jordan.
I don't know. The thing is the cases of him go for way more if you got the short print case because you get more of him in it. But I want to say these are still like a good $400 or $500 PSA 10.
No shit.
Tony Gwynn, always. Isaiah. This is the Star 84 Isaiah. I love this freaking card. There's another Walter. And then we get into Ken Griffey's rated rookie. 4 of those. And the rest of this is pretty much just the fire out of the Kobe. I love, that's my favorite.
I got one of those Kobe's.
Enough. Yeah. The juicer. And then here, this is actually, I can't believe how cheap these are. These are die cut second year Kobe chases. Then you've got a hollow Kobe. That's just the casual Kobe rookie. Another rookie. Oh, who's peeking out there at the end after these? I put the wrong pile down. Damn it.
Oh, yeah, I got the tri-cut. Yeah, I got the tri-cut Kobe.
I love the tri-cut that way.
Yeah.
And then, damn it, I did it again. This backwards bullshit. And a LeBron rookie.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
And I picked up this whole stack for less than $1,000.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
So what's the ultimate Kobe card?
You want that upper deck chrome?
Yeah, the chrome.
2003. I actually had 2 of those, 9.0 and 9.5, and I sold both of them at the time, highest prices recorded less than $3,000 for both of them together. And within a year, I'm shooting myself because one of them the 9.5 hit 10 G's.
Michael Bajel in the comments, he has that. Either he has or he had that that the LeBron rookie in the big giant white suit, and I swear I've looked at that thing for like 20 years, so it's bringing back a lot of memories. But and as far as
I bet you could have bought him for nothing when he left Cleveland. Bet you everybody burned him and sold him off and just said
probably, yeah. And the Mark McGuire, like, how bad are those down? What's happening?
Yeah, down.
He's gonna have to save a burning bus full of children to become relevant again.
Jeez, man.
Hey, man, he saved baseball. So let's see what you got. I love her pickups out of everybody because we're out here spending like $55,000 and she's not. So these are the ones I like the most.
I got a couple. They just got the What If the Amazing Spider Had Married the Black Cat?
Yeah, that's a good cover.
And then this one I like because it's the Here Lies Earth's Greatest Hero, the Lois Lane.
That's the inside of the black bag.
Yeah.
And I like that it's from 1993 because that's the year I was born. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at you. I'll leave Carter last because Carter's gonna murder me this one. You got any? I'm sure you got pickups, right, dude?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I got pickups too, man. I'll put them in a special box.
Now, Dino, you would have loved my pickup while you're opening your stuff up. I just bought a Hasbro WWF Ultimate Warrior sealed figure tonight at the store.
Did you?
And then of course the second I got back to my car to go home, that's when Nico asked me to jump in, or I would have brought it to show everybody.
No, that's okay.
Gorgeous.
Okay, so these aren't in my book. I mean, they're my books, but I bought them for the old missus. It's a little bit of a theme. So check this one out. The Freddy Nightmare 3D. But are you ready, Carter? He's got the glasses, bro.
He's got the glasses.
Nice.
Whoa. A bunch of innovation stuff. So just, I'm just gonna roll through these. So just Freddy Nightmare. She's a big, horror fan. So Nightmare stuff.
I finally got a 9.8 on my number one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice. This one, she probably won't even grade him. Not 9.8able.
Press mine into a 9.8.
No, too many spine breaks on mine.
Oh, okay.
Color breaking. So Freddy's dead. Here's some more Freddy's dead stuff. So just doing some stuff like that. Number one, just cool stuff, Now, a little look at this boy. A little innovation.
That's the one I got in 9.8.
Oh,
I finally got a 9.8 on that.
This one's got a chance. Number two.
And that actress, though, go back one. That actress that's on that cover, she does horror conventions.
Oh, okay.
That's the actress from the first movie, and that would be awesome to get both of them to sign that.
I probably could do that because he does Motor City Comic Con actually.
Yep. Well, at least somebody could go do that show.
Yeah, right.
What's going on here?
What do you mean? What's going on here?
No.
I'm the only person barred from Motor City.
Boy, stop.
Come on, man. You need a CEO to walk in with you? Like, yo, man, I know this dude.
I put on a convention in 2010 and brought Stan Lee to Detroit my first year, and I kind of showed him up. And Napoleon Goldman didn't like that too much.
Okay.
Look at this.
And we almost had a fist fight the year before that.
Look at all these people. Heather Langenkamp.
They know what's up. They know what's up.
What's up, people?
Horror conventions.
Honestly, I thought that was Juliette Lewis.
Wow.
We're with Juliette
They all look alike, Carter. They all look alike.
Okay, so that's what I picked up for the missus. I'm out of the doghouse. I'm joking.
Right.
That's what I do on a daily. So
Carter,
let's go.
I was at a small show yesterday, and I came across not a lot. I didn't pick up a lot because honestly, I'm buying tapes now.
Oh boy, what bingo hall bingo hall were you at, man?
I'm making the transition.
Oh boy,
you'll see
Oh hey, watch tape heads. Watch tape heads on Sunday.
We'll get to that. To that.
Okay.
But I came across the novelization of Halloween. This was like $90. It's like the equivalent of a VG copy. I figured, why not? Because I noticed they're brisk sellers
Okay, real quick, extrapolate back to what we were just talking about at the beginning of this show. You're telling me that that CGC is investing in pulps, and you're telling me Carter's not the smartest motherfucker on this show buying paperback books like that with that cover? Because if pulps are there, this shit's next, guys.
Right around the corner.
You know, you look at VHSs of horror VHSs. Think about what a mint copy of that is going to be in a graded case.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Already getting claps. First fucking pickup.
Got this for $90. Very happy
Dude,
about that.
you want to talk about? I watch Carter as much as I watch those guys ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Now here's something I've been after for so long.
I've been trying to find a newsstand forever, dude. That's like 9-eatable.
I think I got a newsie, but you know, this is the Ghost Rider 1990 second print.
Yep.
I've been after this for a long time. I finally found it along with so we got Strange Tales Blade.
I 9-8'd that book.
And I don't know how. Well, this ain't no 9-8. And we got Great Lakes Comic-Con.
Yes.
G.I. Joe 224. And It also came with the COA, oddly enough.
So
and
we got signed by Zach?
No, it's not signed. Actually, I'd rather it not be
I've
signed.
got those signed by Zach.
Yeah. So where the hell was Great Lakes?
That show right there, I want to say it was 2016 or 2015.
Great Lakes is either
Zach and Larry Hama were both there that weekend.
Great Lakes is usually in Macomb, right? Is it out in Macomb?
Yeah, it's in that Macomb Community College.
Yeah. It's like north of me a little bit, like 20, 30 minutes. Yeah.
All right,
but the year they made that variant, they had Larry Hama and Mike Zeck there. Ooh. Zeck did that cover.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of double signed ones, and then they had Shooter come the next year, and Shooter signed them.
Oh, that's hot.
Because of Secret Wars. That's one of those. That's one of those books that literally people don't know exists.
So Great Lakes either does what, G.I. Joe or what, Turtles usually? Is it?
Yeah, because they got that guy Jason something that does the Turtle books.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we got all of these for $25.
Yeah,
solid.
So because the price tag on this was $4, and the price tag on this was like.
I wholesaled those from him, and I think they were $20 at the show.
Yeah.
And I wholesaled, and I think I only got them for $12, and I bought like 20 copies of them.
Yeah. So I came across this.
You stole that book. You stole that
book. Okay, now here's something that I freaking love, and I'm trying to find more info on this. So we have Secrets of Young Brides. This is number 6. This is from 1957. There is a second series from the 1960s, but that's not it. This is first series, 1957. And
what are you trying to find on it, man?
What was that?
What are you trying to find on it?
Well, what it actually is going for, because
I got you.
So I came across this for I think $15.
That's a deal.
And I was looking on the eBay archive site, and the last one that I saw was back in 2020, and it sold for about $60. And it's a VG. It's all stained up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but as far as I'm concerned, for me in my house, this is the prototype of Sandman from Spider-Man. This is the prototype. This is where Steve Ditko got his idea for the Sandman. As far as I'm concerned, right here.
It's a little dream sequence action. I like it.
Yeah.
What issue number is that?
Number 6. Charlton Comics. I don't even think the number is on here. But...
Okay, Carter. I got 2. I was gonna send you these, but I'm gonna show them. But I won't show them where you can see them from.
Sure.
So
sure.
Let me see if I can do this with real sly about it, so nobody knows where it's at. Okay. So check this out. Here we go. Buying it? I don't know what. Okay, so this is big. It's like $200 or $300. Buy it.
I like it.
And then check this one out.
Oh yeah.
Magazine size though.
Yeah, no, you know what? Much like those pulps, the pinup books are so undervalued right now, guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think this is like $125. I think.
What did Comic Girl say?
I have a few pinup books too, and I didn't know that. I just saw them at an old used bookstore that I go to, and I thought they were interesting.
Well, when you think of so when you start breaking it down and you go, oh, why are people buying this cover of this golden age? They're buying it for the cover. They're buying it for the cover art. They're buying it for the cover artist. And then you start looking at the pinup books from that same era in the 50s, and Evergreen, I think that's his name, who did a lot of pinup art. A lot of these artists have just as big a name in the pinup community as they ever did, in the 90s, they sold all those collectible cards of these guys' art, Olivier. And you start seeing they cut their teeth on those original, 50s books. And then same as Ditko. That book, nobody would give two shits about that book, except for it's a Ditko cover. So, the same thing with the pinup books. I'd say pull the trigger on them, Dino.
As far as, because I actually came across a lot of, like, as far as pulps go, pulps from 100 years ago, Spicy Stories, beautiful covers, dated 1915 and shit like that, but beautiful covers. So, yeah.
I got a collection of a bunch of, and I thought they were dog crap, 10-cent stories from 1930s to 1950s. I was getting $100 a pop for these books. And they literally are like a pulp, a thin pulp, but they have occasional pinup pictures inside that, the old timers love to, apparently don't have the internet.
Hey, listen, I had the Sears catalog back in the 80s. Oh! All right. Okay, last but not least, okay, so we were talking about tape heads on Sunday.
You son of a bitch.
This is something that I had shown off yesterday. So we have the Terminator. Yep. So from what I researched, from what I tried to find out, this is the second release. The first release was the white clamshell. It looks like a bootleg as far as I'm concerned. And there's no watermarks on this, but I took a shot, and oh no. So, but we got into depth on Sunday's tape heads. I can't stress enough, because this is all about collectibles. Okay, don't get all hoity-toity about tapes. Take that up with your therapist.
What's the tape head's opinion on peeling that ugly torn sticker off of the cover?
Ooh. Okay, I'm for it, as long as because I think one of the guys, he can do that. Yeah. He has a process of doing that. I'm with it. But as long as it doesn't mess anything up. But
I just think you use Goo Gone and you start bringing that off of the.
I wouldn't do it myself. I would have,
But, no, but to me, I mean, I think half the fun of collecting these is the full art of that.
Yeah.
So to me, when it has that giant sticker covering right over the title, you want to get that off of there.
Yeah, it was cheap enough for me to justify picking it up, even with the sticker on it.
George has converted you into a new religion of tapes.
What can I say? I'm having fun.
Okay,
I'm in the same boat.
The community thanks him, because that leaves a few more comics out in the Ohio.
I know, because dude, there was a convention like 2 hours away from me. I'm like,
oh wow!
I gotta go to a flea market and look for VHS tapes.
It's a new day.
But yeah, we got the Terminator, second release from 1988, and we get into a lot more stuff on Tapehead. So watch Tapeheads; it's a good show. Even if you have no interest in collecting tapes, go ahead and
it's a devil's collectible.
It is. It kind of is. It kind of is.
VHS is the devil.
Yeah. Cool.
What Mama don't know won't hurt her.
Oh boy.
All
right, guys. That's it. So let's see. So Haven for Heroes on Wednesdays, I think. I got a new show coming up. Kind of like a marker report kind of twist. 15 minutes, nothing crazy. That's gonna debut soon. Carter, I still gotta work on Carter stuff. I'm terrible at it. Tape Heads on Sunday, and then maybe some more stuff. It's good stuff. Another great show. I think it's part 2, right? Part 2, because his first one was part 1 last week. So I think it's a 3-parter. So if you're not catching it, catch it. Good stuff.
And anybody in Texas going to be at Dallas, make sure you Instagram me so we can try to have a hookup.
Listen, we got a ton more tapes to go through on Sunday. Sunday.
Oh boy! So, I'm gonna buy you one of those wacky inflatable arm flailing dudes.
We got more. We got more. Come on.
And I hate to say it because we missed it. Dennis, was it Tim Sale, right?
Oh yeah, Tim Sale. Yeah, good luck, healthy recovery, Tim.
Yeah. So Jim Lee announced that Tim Sale's in the hospital. Serious illness. I don't know what that means. So we wish him the best, and hopefully everything works out okay. So without that, we're gonna rock and roll, and we'll catch you guys later. See you.